Hey, love bugs, it's Roslynn back at you. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome into my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family. Just thank you so much for the love and support. It is so greatly appreciated. We're all going through our different things. I'm trying to do different changes in my life by stepping out my comfort zone on just trying to change it up a little bit for, a positive well-being in my life, being able to reflect that in a positive change. You would love to be able to project that and reflect that towards others to, be able to do the same. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when your girl's about to upload her next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback to the content of my video, or you're just up telling me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you feel like the videos are uplift, give you good inspiration or good vibes you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that may be going through trying times at the moment and needing confirmation, validation towards life path, or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. Even if they need spiritual guidance as well, share. And as well on your favorite social media favorites, wherever you see fit, and give me a thumbs up, and I hope you're able to resonate with the content of my video. And in the background, I'm using Jason Stevenson. Again, I used him yesterday. His chakra healing music, and the video in the background is called Positive Aura Cleanse, Chakra Clearing Manifestation Miracles with 432 hertz heart chakra. And I will post their link in the description box below. And the video I'm doing today is called Twin Flame 101, Heyokas, when we change from why me to try me. Life always throws us those curveballs of stressful situations, of hard times, of setbacks, mistakes, bad decisions, just life lessons as well as karma clearing. We're all going through an intense time of clearing our slate. And it's not really easy. It's just like I had to take me a break, like I had to go on, what do they call it, sabbatical, not a sabbatical, but just a release point in my life where, a lot of things has been getting to me. If you have been dealing with something for so long, it tries your patience. You're like, I'm ready to, close doors on certain things. I'm ready to cut ties with certain situations that I can't avoid, I can't run from, I can't ignore. Situations that we're placed in that may be very heavy can really get to you. But it's just like they try to tell you, instead of saying, why do I have to constantly go through this, why do I have to do this? But if you want something better to come into your life, you have to be willing to put in the work for it to change. It's like I try to step out of my comfort zone and do things that may scare me, do things that may make me feel uncomfortable, do things that where it tries me. And that's where your challenges come in at. Those are the things that strengthen you. They mold you into creating a better platform for yourself, regardless on what you're doing. Going through this right now, I just did a video on IG, talking about not being hard on yourself while trying to heal during the pandemic. The world's going through a change right now, a very hectic change where it's all about how you see the world. How you see the world is how you see yourself, and those are the things that you really need to be careful on how you say. The world may be going crazy, going through a lot of drama. That's basically how you see yourself. With me, how I see the world is how we're reflecting a lot of truth, but it's up to us on how we choose to handle that truth, how we choose to heal from that truth, and going through those different directions. It can be hard at times. It really can be hard, and you're going through these things and you're reflecting on them. And then on top of that, you're dealing with a lot of different things that maybe you're trying to heal with on a personal view level, that it may be resurfacing. And those things, they can come out of nowhere. You could be having a good day, and next thing you know, a memory will come back. You're like, what the heck? Why is this coming up now? Or why am I feeling this low vibe? Why is, I don't think about these certain situations anymore. I don't think about these certain people. So why is it coming up? It's letting you know these are the things that's been suppressed for so long that this is something that you really needed to heal from. And it's been really hard for me lately because, I was doing it on a day-to-day basis. I was seeing everything as, what, I'm loving my challenges. And then it got to that point where I was like, what, these challenges are getting too much for me. But then it's just like, life can be hard, but, the universe tries to reflect to you and tell you, we made you harder. This what makes you warriors. These are the things that you signed up for you to be an example for other people to follow, you know. And a lot of times, how would you be able to learn something? How would you be able to grow? How would you be able to strengthen yourself if you did not go through setbacks, if you haven't gone through failures? If you just up jump and get your blessings by the next day, you don't, it may not last long. It's going to be temporary because you didn't have to sacrifice anything. You didn't have to change how you did things. You didn't have to change your routine. Didn't have to change your mindset or how you choose to focus on it, or even how you choose to see that situation of change. So when you're doing that, you're allowing yourself to, step out and do something out of the norm. You're doing things that may scare you a little bit. It could go a positive way or it can go a straight negative way. But when you're allowing yourself to say, what, I'm gonna give it what I got. I don't know what I'm gonna get from it. I don't know what I'm gonna receive, back from it. But let me allow myself to step out of that darkness into the light, and so I can allow myself to see what I can prepare myself for. So, doing videos, I've been doing this going on close to a little bit over 4 years. If I think about it, yeah, it's almost close to 4 years, and I truly love it. And it is just like now, I always wonder why universe had me doing so many videos at one time, because it was like about a year or two ago, I would do at least about between 10 and 12 a day, and that can be going on 2 days straight, 2 weeks straight. And it's like, they were like, Roslynn, you need to calm down. Roslynn, you need to, stop going, just chill for a minute. And then it was just like, universe had guided me to do all these things, and they start opening doors for me to be able to find out different shades of myself that I didn't even know about. And it's like going through all these different things. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, it's been very hard for me. I go through a lot of different things that I chose not to speak on anymore, just deal with it behind closed doors, but just being focused on how I want to use my platform to say, what, my painful traumatic experience has brought me to this platform. But being focused on what I'm trying to do today, not living in the shadow of that painful experience on what got me here, but being able to stay focused and project as well as reflect towards other people. Like, look, we have gone through things, but you are far more defined past trauma. You are far more defined than past pain, or whatever is taking place, because these things had to take place for you to be able to understand who you were, what your purpose was, what your mission was, what am I here to do, what am I here to heal. Why is it so many people that comes to me and tell me about their issues when I'm trying to deal with my own issues for myself. And so for me being able to do that, I felt so many blessings come to me, because just me being bold and being, having that courage to be able to put my life out on the line, being able to have people judge me, has brought me to be able to connect with the most beautiful people, all over the world, being able to say, Rosalind, I get you. It feels good that I found me a tribe. I found my tribe. I found my soul family. Because half of the time, your blood family don't even make you feel like family. It's like you connect better with people that are like-minded. They see the views that you have. If you're spiritually sleep and ignorant towards a certain fact of it, and not saying that you're stupid, but there's a lot of things that has not really presented itself to us yet. So, I don't want people to say, oh, okay, they're being spiritually ignorant. No, there are certain things that you may not know about yourself, may not know about your mission, may not know about your purpose. So you're ignorant to a certain extent because you don't know that yet. It has not been presented to you yet, because you had to go down some life lessons. You had to be able to heal on certain things. You had to be able to recognize things about your surroundings as well as yourself. So when you're doing those things, you're like, I'm gonna try me. I'm gonna try to do something different. I'm gonna try to be bold about what I need to do. I'm gonna try to be, powerful and being able to show my strength even when I'm scared and terrified. It's okay to be scared when you don't know what's around that corner and you're fearing that. Hey, Aphrodite, I've been doing good, just trying to rest up and do what I need to do. But, I said, I'm going to go ahead. A lot of people ask me about, doing a live chat. So I said, I'm going to try to go ahead and do that at least about twice a week. To do that for you to be able to have open comments. I hope you're doing well too. How are you doing? But yeah, I said I'm gonna start doing live chats at least about twice a week. I'm gonna see how it goes. Just for people to have their, their open comments or whatever, long as it's respectable and not disrespected and half crazy. So I said I was gonna go ahead and do that and see how it is. But going through these different things, when you're allowing yourself to take it day by day, and not knowing, where it's going to take you, but you're allowing yourself to try. That's what a blessing within itself, because with everything that's going around in the world, is very heavy. And with you dealing with a lot of things within yourself, you know what your situation is, what you're stumbling upon, what things is hard for, like that pill of truth to swallow, and being able to be acceptant of what has taken place that shook you to the core, that brought you towards this journey of learning about yourself. A lot of times we feel like there's things that you have gone through, and you may see things in a negative standpoint. We all have done that. It gets to that point where you have to be able to see that negative situation that has shook you, and whatever trauma you have gone through, and being able to transmute that into a positive outcome, that you have a lot of strength within yourself. And a lot of times it's hard for us to be able to see that when you've gone through so many heavy things in your life, because a lot of times we carry that vibe of being a victim, and don't a lot of times we don't see ourselves presenting ourselves as a victim. You're saying, oh, this person did this or that person did that, and a lot of times it's like that at times, until you can allow yourself to say, you know what, shalom, hey, almost ready, Thomas, how are you? I hope all is well. But going through all these different things in our life, it can be very hard. But when you're allowing yourself to apply that towards yourself every day, even if it's little baby steps, like with me today, I usually put up my live videos, and they're quicker to do it that way instead of uploading, and it takes like 2 or 3 hours. So I'd rather do the things here and then shut the comments down, and go ahead and share them out so y'all can have them within seconds. I'm working on compassion and understanding for people who hurt me. Yeah. Hey, Jennifer, I hope all is well. Yeah, sis, it can be hard, especially when people are not admitting their wrongs to you, when they're not admitting the truth, especially if you deal with narcissistic people. They're not going to admit to anything. They're going to show everybody else is the issue, and they have every problem to every solution that they have. But that's where your strength comes in, because a lot of times when you're dealing with people like that, you can present all the issues towards them as you want to. It's just going to be, you can get better interaction with talking to a brick wall. And a lot of times we don't realize when we connect with narcissistic people. It's good I'm glad to know that you're doing good, already, done, Thomas. um when you're going through that, you have to be able to accept no apology at all and allow yourself to move forward. Trying to figure out, why a narcissistic, sociopath, psychopaths, whatever, they got those, what is it called? Narcissistic personality disorder. When you're going through different things like that, you're being able to show somebody, no matter how much pain you're inflicting on me, I have the choice to either inflict that on everybody that I choose to connect with, or I can allow myself to heal from those things and be able to use that story of experience, of views, to be able to help other people see their issues that they may be carrying. and being able to say, I've been through this situation, and yes, it hurt the hell out of me. I had to learn to not have conversations with folks who can't admit their truth. Yeah, you have to, because it's like you're going to be in a constant that's like an energy drainer. I've been doing that. There are certain times where I don't even deal with it, but you learn by a day-to-day process. If you have a person that is not being authentic about their apology, not seeing the issues that they may be causing between the conflict, those are the ones you got to just keep it moving. Just take that sorry you never got and go on and, do what you got to do. But if you're in a karmic cycle, those are the things that are placed in your life that is going to break you from those negative patterns where you may see that situation or that person. They're using what they have. It is not you. It's not a personal thing, even though it may be directed towards you. These are the people that they have been in a damaged situation and they feel like this is their way of surviving. They're existing. But that is that time where we have to not place judgment, even though it can be hard at times. I got to catch myself because I do it too. But like I said, it's when you're a work in progress to molding up your masterpiece. That's what you do when you can allow yourself to know. It's like, regardless of what this person has done, yes, I'm placing judgment on them. I'm doing exactly what they're doing towards me, except they're doing it worse. And there's sometimes you have to be able to catch yourself and say, you know what, I'm doing the same thing that they're doing. But you have to understand, you are on your road of healing. You are on your road of learning about yourself, learning about the habits that you need to break, learning about the patterns that you need to break from. Because we went through these lifetime of experience where you've been neglected, abused, abandoned, some kind of situation. And then it's telling you, okay, the world is filled with all this mess now, and we are being used as that example within itself. At Jennifer Dawson, too. I just ignore them. Yeah, you're gonna have to, and and going about your business. But it's just like, if you have to deal with stuff like that. I'm proud of myself because there's a lot of times where I see things, and it's like when you're allowing yourself to be open towards your gift, and you're going through that cycle, because you have to understand as well, there's a lot of gifts that we have that has been laying dormant. We couldn't have all those gift switches turned on at one time. You had to be able to go through different things. You had to be honest with yourself. You had to allow yourself to heal. You had to allow yourself to forgive yourself, forgive other people as well, and all those different things. And all of a sudden, gift switches are popping on, you know. And when you're doing that, it's allowing you to see different perspectives of your life, different perspectives on where I need to go forth, what I need to let go of, what I need to add to, what I need to take away, what I need to cut away. So you're going through all those different things where you're telling yourself, you can talk all day saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But then when you say, when you're being assertive with yourself and say, what, I'm going to stand strong in that. I can't say every day is going to be a positive day, but I'm going to try to allow myself to see a positive outcome throughout that day, and it can be very hard, because we're all dealing with our different issues right now. And plus into a middle of a pandemic, so a lot of times we can feel, it was just like when I was going through my issues last week, like I tell y'all, when I'm going through my different changes like that, and I'm very sensitive, or I'm very heavy, I don't want to be toxic towards nobody like that. I'd rather deal with my own issues and then come back and being better than I was when y'all last seen me. I want to be able to do that. There's people, since I put my video out yesterday, there's people coming back like, Roslynn, your energy feels so peaceful. You feel, it's good to see your back. You feeling a lot, you're feeling a lot. It feels like you're feeling a lot better. And I really am. It's not been easy. I try to keep it real with y'all, say it how it is, because I'm not going to fake the front on, being positive every day when I'm dealing with my issues when I'm not on camera. Being real like that allows people to respect you more, being able to say, what, I like her because she keeps it real. There's days that she don't want to be bothered, but then there's days she's very hands-on. I love what I do, because the fact is, a lot of times we don't understand, even though there's something that maybe personally happened in our lives, you don't realize your tragedy becomes somebody else's blessing. When you can allow somebody to, there's a lot of times people try to understand, how can I heal from this burdens that's been placed on my life? How can I allow myself to not be a enemy with myself? Because a lot of times our mind, our what we tend to cling on to, what we tend to um you know see on different things. I don't know what you put, Aphrodite, because it just says message retract. Oh, okay, you probably erased it. um Going through different things, you trying to really understand, how can I be able to go a day, ignore them to now. It still be a little frustrating. Yes, it is, but that's where when you're allowing yourself to take a day by day basis and say, you know what, when you a lot of people just do that, you have to understand misery loves company. When somebody knows they can get under your skin, that's a joy out of that. You're giving them exactly what they want. And you're dealing with a lot of different things. You know what you're trying to manifest in your life. But you have to understand, it's not going to come to you easy. If it's going to be easy, it's not going to be worth it. When you're allowing yourself to make those sacrifices on what I need to allow myself to stop doing, what I need to allow myself to change my frame of mind of thinking. Am I doing healthy patterns to get my work done on a day by day basis? It says, yes, and sometimes they can start telling you, yeah, okay, I already know. It is, it's hard. It's a work within it, progression of work within itself. But you have to be able to be assertive with yourself. Nobody cannot do what you don't allow them to do. And I have to be able to, I have to catch myself at times. I got to give myself that own pep talk. So don't think I'm just preaching to you. I have to preach it to myself, because there's sometimes I want to be able to slap the spirit out of somebody. But I'm just like, there's times when you want to walk away and say to hell with everything. You have to be able to psych yourself out and just tell yourself, even though it doesn't matter what other individuals are doing, but you have to understand, when they see that light in you, they're going to do everything they can to rip you apart. They want to tear you down. They want to make you, doubt yourself. When they see that they're doing things and they may not be, moving in progression like you may be moving in progression. But people don't realize, they don't know what you're dealing with behind closed doors. They don't know what changes you had to make. Your mind of, what you choose to deal with can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Are you allowing yourself to stay focused on a daily basis by saying, even though a negative comment or maybe getting to me, is this how I see myself? People, when they say stuff about you, is how they see themselves. And a lot of times you have to be discerning and mindful. And I had to tell myself that, because it was a rough week for me, a real rough week for me. And where I allowed, my negative vibes to allow me to react towards a lot of things, instead of me just, observing and not absorbing. You know what I'm saying? So that, it's a day-to-day basis, and when you're dealing with things and you have dealt with them for so long, it gets to that point, like, you know what, two heads in a bucket, F it. Let's go ahead and take this outside. But I'm just like, I don't have time or energy to place my things on certain situations. Okay, Jennifer, you said when you were a kid and you learned the saying, I'm rubber and you're glue, whatever they say bounces off me and sticks to you. Wise words out of the mouth of babies. Yeah, it is. And a lot of times words can hurt, but if you don't see yourself as that, you can't allow somebody to, define of how you see yourself. How you see yourself is what's important. You know what I'm saying? We mirror a lot of things. A lot of times we're around people and we pick up that vibe and start reflecting it towards them. And they don't like that. And then when you're becoming more within yourself and being comfortable within loving, oh, thank you, Sarah. Much love to you, Sarah. It's so good for you to stop by, sis. And this is one of my friends that I've known since, what was it, elementary school? 111. Is 111 where you're at, Aphrodite? Because I know here it's like 421. No, it's not 421. It's 411. Yeah, 411. When you're going through different things, it is, okay. When you're going through different things in your life, it can be very hard. It can be very hard, but it's like universe is telling you, we made you a lot harder. You have gone through worse things. It just, you just don't have to, you just don't remember it now, because we're all going through those periods right now where a lot of things may feel like deja vu to you, or you feel like life is a game of life. Like we're dealing with a game. Like, okay, you're in life where you're manifesting things. You see all different signs coming up to you telling you, hey, new things is on its way into your life. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you love my videos. I love doing those. And those are the reason why, y'all keep me going. Even though at times it feels hard, when I go through things, if you've been with me long enough, you know what I've been going through, what my situation is. But I just really, try on a daily basis not to allow myself to reflect on that, not allow myself to be that. That's the drive that I have, on reason why I keep doing things. This has happened to me, this has brought me to where I had to be. Yeah, thank you. Be right. Okay, be right back. Okay. Going through those things, it has been very hard for me, but then I have to understand, when, even though things are directly impacting your life, it it becomes a blessing for so many other people. And for me to be able to see that, I see that on every time I do a video, every time I'm allowing myself to be authentic. Keep that heart. Yes, thank you, Carl. Yeah, I try to be you. You know how you just. I'm glad, cause just in your comment that you made a few minutes ago, talking about this is why I subscribe, because you tell it like it is. That's the only way to be. Keep it real, And a lot of people can't digest that. That's okay. If I know, if I'm doing something in a positive manner, and I'm having true intentions about it, how it affects you. And if it bothers you, that's something that there's something that you need to recognize within yourself. I try, to be very, mindful of how I say things. I try to make sure I don't offend anybody. But if you get offended by my truth, hey, that's more about you and less about me, because I'm not trying to, poke at anybody. But I feel like if you have a message, be careful of how you project that message towards somebody, because you don't know, it could offend somebody. And it's like I say, I'm very choicey, especially with being a YouTuber. Being a vlogger, influencer, or whatever you want to call it. I see out there how things has caught people in trouble because of the things of their actions, or how they said things, how it can disrespect somebody, whether it's religion, sexual orientation. I don't try to do that. I try to speak on my truth. I try to speak on personal experience that I've gone through on a day by day basis. But it's not easy. It really is not easy. But I feel like I'm very blessed. Thank you. Yeah, Sarah, you already know I'm on that path. A lot of us, we're going through so many things, you know, and it can, challenges are hard, changes is hard, going through change. If you've been in that frame of mind where so many different things follow, thank you. Yeah, even when you're feeling low, yeah, I try to just sending out, like, even when I am, I try to do that. I try to sit up here and say, encouraging things towards people, even when I'm going through my own, sadness or heartbreak or whatever. I try to do that because I know I'm getting that back in return. I didn't really get that growing up, on being encouraged and stuff like that. My mom did it, but other family members, they weren't like that with me. It was just like I was always constantly doing things to, try to get my family to love me, trying to be, saying proud of me. I can count on one hand how many times I heard I was, my parents were proud of me. But after my father passed away, I have that gift of, sixth sense. I'm able to talk to him over from the other side. That's why I constantly hear, I was like, Dad, you're always telling me you're proud of me. But that's a blessing to be able to hear. Even when my mom passed away, God rest her soul, she even tells me that, and you have to be able to see that strength in yourself, because there's so many things that you have gone through that you may have not told people about. And when you allow yourself to see those different things that's taking place along your path of this time, you are so much stronger than you even give yourself credit for, because there's things that has taken place in your life that a lot of people wouldn't have been able to make it through. And sometimes we can be hard on ourselves, because we feel like, oh, I'm weak, or I don't know if I have it in me to keep going through this. Yes, it's hard. But when you're going for something that you truly want, and if you want to impact change into your life, you have to be able to step out those comfort zones. Like if you've been with me for a while, Sarah, you already know I don't do live chats. When I started doing live chats before, I started having negative comments towards me. And that was just, insecure people going through their ego saying things to where it made me draw back from that, because I said I'm not going to deal with that. If I'm coming up here with a positive platform, I want people to be able to send love amongst each others. Oh, it's good to see you back, Aphrodite. And where we can all have a discussion. You're sending love out. You're talking about your views, like, hey, I'll through this. I struggle through this on a daily basis. You may be at a job where you constantly getting reprimanded for stuff. Is like, or you somebody else getting credit for the stuff that you're doing. And you're not realizing those are the things that's telling you, universe is sending you a sign, like, we have so much better for you, but we need you to let go of this job. They know, hey, we need money to survive. Y'all, where y'all at, where it don't cost nothing. Y'all just helping us along the way. But when they're telling you to let go of these expectations where you feel like you need to be in that certain place because you're in a situation where you're not happy, is being forced on you. When I had my jobs, I was on addictions. Like if I wasn't chain smoking cigarettes, I was chain smoking weed, just to be able to deal with my job, dealing with the people I had to deal with. For me to be able to have that I don't give a damn attitude, don't mess with me, I don't mess with you type attitude. But when it came to that situation drained me. That situation had me getting into more accidents or just being stressed out all the time, snapping at people and stuff like that. And I'm glad that I'm doing what I'm doing. It may not be paying me right now, but this is my passion. This is my lifestyle. I love to be able to put out something that's very positive towards somebody else, and it can allow you to be able to look at the things in your life, because we're all struggling with something. We're all trying to make a positive change, but a lot of times you're trying to find that gateway to lead you towards that positive change, because you can be on that, you know and then a lot of different things may come up, because the devil don't want to see that. Hey Tiffany, it's good to hear from you, love. It's like, hey, I recently started watching your videos and it's been very helpful and motivating, and there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not crazy. Thank you. Yes, nobody is well, I'm not gonna say there ain't nobody crazy, because we got some crazy folks out there. But a lot of times going through those spiritual awakenings, that veil is being snatched off. So there's a lot of things where you felt like, even before you went on that spiritual awakening, where you may have felt like, yeah, we do. Yeah, we know we do. Where, you start seeing things at a totally different level. You start seeing, like, why, you may look at certain people that were very toxic to you in your life, but us as empaths feel like our love can be able to heal this person, or that's the underdog. So I have to be able to help them get through this. But you got to understand it's a two-way street. You can heal, you want to be able to heal all the people you want to, but if they're not willing to do the inner work, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to be in that point where, I've been toxic towards people. I was holding on to anger from what my family has done to me, what has been lied to me about, what, still is being lied to me about. But now it's like, what? When I'm allowing myself to focus on my healing and allowing myself to focus on what I'm trying to do, I can't be focused on what other people have done. Because if like my mom always said, my mom was from the Bronx, but she was raised Southern. She was like, hey, whatever don't come out in the wash will definitely come out in the rinse. So whatever is taking place into your life to where you felt like you were robbed of something, where you felt like things weren't unfair, trust and believe. It may take a minute, but it's going to come right back, and it's going to come back harder, especially, in situations where it just seems like people just steady keep doing stuff. They got comfortable in manipulating. They got comfortable just doing trite stuff. They got comfortable being, abusive in some kind of way. That's all right. When you're allowing yourself to choose to ignore those things and still move forward with you, trust and believe your blessings is coming. You have a good heart and you're going through it with pure intentions. Trust me, your blessings is coming for you. You don't have time to be focused on what somebody's trying to do, because regardless on what's taking place around you, you're protected. And a lot of times we don't realize that because there are certain things that may piss us off, or there'll be things that, try to distract us or try to keep us pressed. That's what the devil likes. The enemy likes keeping you like that. They get off on stuff like that. But it's like when you're allowing yourself to stay focused and say, you know what, bump whatever is going around me. Let me allow myself to worry about my mental health. Let me allow myself to apply self-care. Because when you have that inner peace, that outer destruction ain't going to have nothing to do with you. It's not going to even be able to break you. And yes, it may take a minute, especially if you're so used to being able. I'm that type of person where, oh, you say something to me, I'm gonna say something to you, or you ain't gonna say something to me and keep on thinking I'm not gonna say something back. But a lot of times our responses, sometimes no response is just the best response at all. That's the best one. Everything doesn't need a reaction out of you. Everything doesn't have to have a last say, because when you're right, you ain't got to keep saying that. But like I said, I went through something a few days ago where, I'm tired of dealing with the things that I'm dealing with. I've been dealing with it a lot of my life, but it really impacted me 4 years ago, and you getting tired of all those things. Hey, Roz, I remember I had a dream of you. What? I'm not sure if it was about you but it looked like you when you were painting. Oh, well, you may have to get in touch with me, Aphrodite, and let me know. It could be something spiritual, like a spiritual, message that you may have had. I've had people tell me stuff like that before too. It's really crazy, but not crazy in a bad way, but it's, crazy amazing. People tell me, girl, I just thought about you, and next thing you know, you popped up with a video, or next thing you know, you heard, you text me. There'll be certain people, I'll think about them, and people know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say no names, where I may have listened to a song, or I may have seen a message, and that person's image came up and it said, hey, send that to that person. They may be going through something. um you said your house is nice. Thank you. What are you talking about in the background? I try to have my room all, and pleasant vibes and stuff with what I got. But going through all those different things, you're going through a mass transmutation right now, a mass transmutation. And don't have that vibe of why me? Why do I have to go there? I've been there. I've been there. When you have to tell me, you know what? Sometimes you have to, it's not being conceited or being arrogant, but sometimes you got to say, I'm the shit. I've been through so much. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to overcome. I'm going to conquer. Oh, oh, okay. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I didn't know what you talking about. I thought you were talking about the background, sis. I didn't even know. Uh uh but I'm glad you informed that to me though. Cause it's like your house is nice. And then you had to tell me, girl, leave me alone. It's like, leave me alone. But anyways, uh, going through those things, you have to be able to tell yourself, thank you. You have to be able to tell yourself, you're gonna conquer this. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but you tend to learn more about yourself through those times of change. You tend to learn more about yourself when you allow yourself to challenge yourself through those hard situations, when you're not allowing yourself to react in a negative way towards everything that is taking place in your life, and you allow yourself to say, ooh, I'm proud of myself. I could have stood up here and said this and that, but I chose not to, and I just stayed silent. Because you don't know, a lot of things is presenting itself to you, because universe knows what you're trying to bring forth. They know how everything is going to unfold, but they want to make sure you are aligned. Nothing wrong with knowing you're a badass. It sure ain't. But some people are like, oh, you're being narcissistic. I've had people come to me and say that. I said, no, I can admit, being raised like that, I did have narcissistic vibes. When you can admit to those toxic vibes you have, but I was willing to go through a change. That's keeping it real. Like, hey, yeah, I got, because I used to be brutal. brutal. I didn't care whose feelings I hurt, because as long as I say, hey, you could be on, people like, hey, you don't like me. No, I really don't. So you keep talking to me, I'm gonna really mess your world up. I've been like that. Now it's just like, it is what it is. I'm no, I'm just, I got through that. I said before, when I said that last time was my last time reacting to some BS that, I mean, really didn't even need my attention, deals with that too. They always call her a narc. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you can be a narc, but I feel like this, my opinion. I am, what do they say? IMO. Hey mommy, hey boo, how are you? Hey Mimi, it's good to I see. I'm so glad I did me a chat today. If y'all got any questions or whatever, like I said, if it's not disrespectful or y'all ain't being an ass, you can go ahead and ask me. Either it's gonna be like, hey, that's too personal, and I'm not answering that, or yeah, sure, I may have a, from my opinion or whatever. But much love to you. Going through all those different things, I can feel like if you have been raised around narcissistic, you've been exposed to that, which I was, and I have three beautiful daughters. My daughters are grown. I got one that's 25, one that's 22, and one that's 19. And she'll soon be 20. God, that makes me old. And then I got a three-year-old grandbaby, you know, and I going through all my stuff. My mom went through it with my father, my adopted father. I don't even call him my father, I just call him my reflector. He was, my truth seeker. He allowed me to see my truth for real. But I try not to say anything negative about that dude. The vibes that he kept up, you know um it was hard because what he reflected on me, I ended up reflecting on my children. And that was something that I didn't even know what a narcissist was until, like, what was it, um 2011, 2012, something like that. I didn't even know what it was until I started looking up the traits, and I said, I'd be damn, this is what I've been grown up on. And a lot of times you don't realize you can carry up that narcissistic vibe because that is all you've been exposed to and not even realize it. But take okay, got to go. Okay, it's good talking to you, and I hope we can you can connect with me again next time we got chat, or I'll just, drop a line or whatever, and I'll connect with you on my next comment. There's a big difference from being, yeah, and having self-worth. That it surely is. But people in that low frequency, they'll say, oh, you being arrogant, you being, how you think of yourself highly. You supposed to think of yourself highly. You should know your worth. It's a difference between looking down at somebody and knowing your worth. That's two different things. You know what I'm saying? But when you can recognize the traits that you may be carrying, and may be very toxic, because there's a lot of people I've connected with here, even before, that had very bad things, like they manipulated a lot. Hell, I used to do it. But then when you can recognize, like, hey, this is like not good, this is not, even, on my thing. Let me allow myself to, go within and change that. It ain't gonna be changed overnight, but when you can recognize, hey, let me stop being manipulative, that's not good, because you don't want that coming back to you. It's always easy, when you can project that out, until you have to be able to, sit with that, and have that put on you, because you're not going to like that. And, with narcissists, they feel like, hey, they can do that. They're justified to do that. But when you play them on them, and all hell break loose. I'm like, hey, it was okay when you were doing it, right? But a lot of times you can't play tit for tat. You got to be better than them. And that's the reason why we're connected in those karmic bonds when it comes to people like that, and family members and lovers, best friends, co-workers, and, bosses, stuff like that. I had to deal with that all the time. I was dealing with it within myself, and a lot of times when people see your worth, they will try you. They will really try you. It seems once a narcissist trait, is hard to know unsee. Yeah, it is. And it's like, I always wonder, can a narcissist really change? But I've always thought about that. Like, can a nice narcissist really heal from that? And I really feel like, if they allowed themselves to go through that process like we do, you got to take those chances on seeing your issues, acknowledging that, being upfront about that, like, oh, okay, But when you tell somebody about themselves, you preaching. You can't be telling me all about my issues and you ain't seeing your own. Oh, I can admit mine. I can admit mine. But when they don't see an issue within themselves, they're a whole issue, and you gotta let them be with their issues. You know, when you know, when you know that you have those issues, but a lot of times, you can carry those narcissistic vibes if you've been exposed to that throughout your life. And it just seems like, a lot of us has done that. I don't know what's wrong, y'all. Excuse me. I use some chapstick, and when the chapstick get dry, start looking nasty. So I apologize about that. But anyways, going through those different things, you're allowing yourself to recognize that within yourself. you know don't have that victim mentality and saying, why do we always have to be me? Yeah, lip chat. No, it's not chap, but it's like I use that chapstick. It's like a great chapstick, and when it gets, when it gets settled and start having that white film, and I'm like, ugh, that looks so nasty. And I hate it when people try to talk to me. I'm like, can you wipe your lip, please? Because that looks nasty. So I see them. I can't roll like, let me fix that. But yeah, going through that, when you allowing yourself to say, you know what, let me go within. Because if I know I want better in my life, I got to start doing better. I got to start changing how I reflect on things, change about how I get a job done, how I see things, how I see other people, from orange is the new black calls that, what, I'm so done with you, me. You just like, you always got something crazy to say, but girl, you be having me laughing. You be having me laughing. But going through all that, when you're allowing yourself to go through it within and allowing yourself to say, you know what, try me. I'm going to try to be a better person to myself every day, because we're all on that voyage right now of aiming towards being a better person. A narc and the twin flame thing got me crazy, and I be so down lately. I understand, boo. It can be very heavy because I'm dealing with that too. My twin flame thing is not hard for me. Well, it's hard for me because my dad's my twin flame, and he's passed. But it's like our spiritual connection has gotten so intense in a beautiful way, in a positive way, because I've been going through my stuff. When I was gone for those few days, and it just seems like since we had that double moon, and I forgot to put that up in the community section. I don't know. I gotta look and see. I don't know if it was too late and we already had the double moon phase, but it just seems like this whole year it's been just a reality check for so many people. It's like we already go through our stuff, but it just seems like when you clear yourself out from three things, it's like 20 things come right after that. And it's like, God dog, can you chill out with the stress for a minute? Can you just chill out from the hard times for a minute? And you really trying to allow yourself to take that time to really heal, really reflect on things. How do you know your twin flame? How do you know who your twin flame is? I'm sure Mimi, you already know I covered that. But I'm gonna tell you anyway. It's like, yes, come on, 20. Girl, I hope 2021 is better. When you have connected with your twin flame, like my dad had to basically send those things throughout me, because there's times he's been in my life, and he's been there. And I used to think, when you're sensitive, you feel those heavy, you know, energy around you. And it used to have me really paranoid. I'm the runner, he was the chaser. So with all that going on, I'm like, okay, what is this going on about me? And it is like when you feel that trait, it's like that person's been in your life so many different times before. And when you're becoming more of yourself, because you and the twin flame are going through those circumstances of healing, all insecurities are coming up when it comes to them. You'll feel a strong connection with them more than you feel with anybody else that you have ever done connected with. And a lot of times people get this conception about twin flames, they have to be romantic. They don't have to be. They're not, all of them are not like that. It could be a soul contracted with me and my father. He's been my twin brother uh we've been twin brother and sister like 2 or 3 times. We have been married 3 times. He's been my best friend 3 times. And he's been let me see, and it was like a cousin before. So it was just like the more I allow myself to open up, you'll start feeling more connections. You'll start, past life, you're going through a past life regression. So a lot of those different things that will come up, that you'll start remember these connections with them about your lives. There are certain things, because it's like right now with us going through these, yeah, even wait a minute, what, even if some of it was traumatic, yeah, with me, you already know my situation, Mimi. So with mine, it was like very hard, very hard, because I started seeing a lot of different things that I did not want to see and I didn't want to know, but I know it was the truth I had to remember. Sometimes you have to break soul ties with twin flame. That's really hard. It is, especially if it's something that's really toxic, but if it's meant to be, when you break those things off and you're allowing yourself to go through with it within, you know, they're always going to be there, but they're going through their process. They have to be able to go through their process of healing, allowing themselves to, heal from those toxic traits they may be having. Um, Going through those different times where, healing on their insecurities, changing, whatever is negative about them, they're making it positive. There's a lot of people where I know that have broke it off totally with their twin flame, but there are some of them that has broke off that connection. And then after they did their healing, it came back, so a lot of times you have to let go of that process of feeling like you need to have them in your life, even though you give that heavy that heavy vibration where it feels like you need them. A lot of people feel like I need that person to complete me. You're already completed. That's just like an added bonus for you. Sometimes in the next life, you just never, yeah, it's true, you just never know what the story tells, but I don't know why I feel that way about now. It's like that final, that final, it's like everything is going to be completed. If you have gone through your different life cycles, let me say, now let me retort it. For some people, it can be that final where everything has to be healed, everything has to be transmuted, everything has to go through a transition. With mine, it's kind of different since mine is passed on already. You can have more than one twin flame. Yep, it is true. A lot of people don't know that. I don't met a couple of mine. We look alike and all those things. About the sexual energy between those people, is it normal? It just depends on what you're asking. Are you talking about like the energy is really heavy, like you can think about them and all of a sudden you start tingling in certain places, or you can have a dream and your essence is merging with theirs, and y'all can have very intense sexual encounters in the metaphysical. Yes, that can happen. Or you could be just doing something a day-to-day basis and all of a sudden, yeah, it can be that way. You can feel them like they're heavy on your mind and they may be doing some enticing things to you. And it can happen. I did a video about that. I think it was like a year or two ago. I did a video about that. Where, you have, I think it's like sexual, metaphysical connections. Girl, yeah, that's I mean, you end up going like you having convulsions. And thank God when mine happened, I was the only one in the house that wasn't, and mine was like, oh God, what happened? And it's very intense. It's like something that's never happened to you before. You can have some good sex, but that is like on a whole different level when it's like a twin flame situation. And a lot of times people, when they know who my dad is and stuff like that, or just know it's my dad, they're like, oh, that's gross. To me, I don't feel like it's, I don't see it as an incestual connection, because when you have soul ties, you're going to play different parts in each other's lives. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't raised with my dad. That'll be just like really nasty and gross if, you end up doing that. These people get married, and what am I going to do? There's some of them that are married towards other people, and then next, because they're dealing with their karmic cycle. So, a lot of times if you have a twin flame that's married to other people, I've had that, you know, um, and you are never really truly out their life anyway. But there may be that karmic cycle that they had to be able to go through, that has to be ended for, if they're supposed to be meant to come back to you. Because like I said, not all twin flame connections are romantic. There can be a lot of times they don't know. It could be same sex. It can be a person that they're very like, that's a part of you. It's your other half of your soul in two different bodies. I've been reading if you dream of someone else, they could also be dreaming. Yeah, it is. Yep. Twin flames aren't always sexual. Yeah, many times they're not. No, they're not. I mean, I've connected with a lot of people, and especially since I've been awakened, and there will be a same sex uh female that I knew, and the more we got connected, you know what I'm saying, I start remembering different connections we had in another life where we dated. And there'll be certain things she'll tap to me in the spiritual, and I'm like, why you keep sending this to me? And she's like, strictly, men. And I was like, you keep sending stuff to me like this. And she's like, well, she didn't know how I still don't understand that, but I don't know if she may be closet or whatever. I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I just don't care. Right, because I definitely feel a strong energy connection with my mother and my sister. Yeah. And a lot of times, people look at that as like, oh, that's nasty. Or I almost, like, me and this girl went head for head when she was like, oh, so you've been having sexual relations with your dad. And I'm just like, it's not even about that. I said, number one, my sexual connection or towards other people is none of your damn business, first of all. But it's like with my situation, I wasn't raised with my father. I didn't know, me and him always had a very strong bond. But there's different times where since he's passed, I start remembering times that we were married. We had sexual encounters and different stuff like that. Anytime before I knew that, there was always a strong connection with us that I never knew. And with him being who he is, I just thought it was just like a crush thing. So, it started being more, more understandable. So I was just like, hey, if somebody thinks that's nasty, that's your opinion. That ain't mine. It's all about how you choose to look at it. Relationships bring about change. Yes, it is. Twin flames do bring about positive change. A guy told me that they only can be sexual, romantic with those people, and I'm feeling those energy. Um, you can be that way, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Some connections like that, some people feel like you only can have one twin flame. But I feel like it's like let me see. To me, it's like a counterpart. Like you can come in connection with those people that you have twin flame attachments to, and then there's a main one. So that main one, like, I have a twin flame connection with my dad's ex-wife. And it was weird because when I first met her, it just felt like me and her were the only one in the room. And then I was like, all these weird, memories start coming back. And I just wanted to just dig out my brain for a while. I'm like, look, I don't even need you to think about that. That's just gross. Is that I got two, but one is more deep. Yeah, it's like you have these multiples where you have to go through these stages of connecting with them to where you can get towards that main one. That main one is supposed to stay into your life. It can be, a best friend, or it can be a life partner. It can be your husband. It can be your wife, whatever they could be to you. But there's like a strong bond amongst the other ones until you get to that ultimate one. With my situation, I don't know, because like mine is like passed on, but it's like that connection, especially with me going through all these different changes. When I say my dad has been there for me, like really hard, he's been there for me. And then he's been helping me, comfort me through all these things that I'm going through, because it's been a very hard period for me to be able to deal with all those things. So, you're going through a lot of these changes. Okay, a lot of these changes are taking place into your life where you're going to have to allow yourself to know, if you want better in your life, you're going to have to take those initial steps to make hard changes in your life. You can't go about doing things like you did before you were awakened. You can't go about doing things before you were spiritually blind towards a lot of things. Now those veils are being snatched off. You're seeing things to the core of truth. And a lot of those things are hard to really digest like that. Even though we're truth tellers, we still got our soft spots too. We're going through those healing processes of being able to allow ourselves to be that example, to be able to say, I've been through the worst of the worst, but I had my choice to either allow myself to stay victimized towards this situation and use that as a crutch to be able to go off and, tear everybody else's life apart, or I can allow myself to use this as a positive stepstone, a milestone, to be able to allow me to co-create something very powerful, because we're turning into evolution. That's something that has been talked about in the books, per se, in the the galactics, whatever, but these things haven't initially taken place for that to happen. So you're connecting and molding into something that's very powerful, very unique. So that's the reason why everything seems so intense. Everything seems so heavy. Everything seems so hard to bear. When you feel like you're over one thing, 10 other things come popping up, because they have that mental capacity and have that confidence in us that we can conquer anything that comes into our lives, no matter what it is. You're going to overcome everything because they gave you, yeah, heck yeah, super hard, but they try to reflect to you, you come 10 times harder. You're that warrior, you're that beast that nobody can't mess with. You couldn't come into this life with knowing everything you knew when you were that straight warrior before you got here, that spiritual being. I mean, like with the power of three, if I had to paint a picture of a bond between us, I would look like a energy circle with three glowing bluish rings around my ball. Ball sounds weird, but yeah, around my head. Yeah, it is. Turning victimization into peace is it what makes anyone a badass. Yes, because it's so easy for you to use that victimized mentality. Mimi, you've been with me for a long time. You know what I've been through. You know my story. But when you can allow yourself to separate yourself from that, and I had to be able to separate from myself from that pain that I've endured. Hey, Nicole, it's good to see you. um when you have gone through those different things in your life and you're moving past that pain of saying this person did that, or I was stuck in this situation, I was doing that, where you can allow yourself, and that's when change is taking place in your life, when you can say, you know what, I've been through some really brutal shit. No disrespect in case somebody don't like cuss words, but you have been really through some brutal shit. And then when you allowed yourself to use that as, what, when I started my situation, I didn't have anybody physical to talk to. All my stuff was through, my father passing away and my mom passing away. And they're using their spiritual vibes to educate me. And, my spirit guides guided me to this platform I'm on now. And I know what it felt like to not have anybody to talk to. I know what it felt like for people to know what I was going through, but they seen that in me and they didn't want me to discover that. So I had to make a platform for myself where I was led to do that, because my story started off me telling people about who my father was and for me looking for my mother. But when it didn't turn out that way, it allowed me to open up a platform of me learning about myself on so many different levels, so many different layers, seeing all these gift spiritual hats that I had that I wasn't even aware that I carried. And being able to use that and saying, I went through a difficult period in my life, but yeah, hey Robert, it's nice to hear from you. Yeah, 223344 yesterday. Yeah, I've been seeing all the numbers. I've been seeing 111, 1111, powerful spiritual awareness. Evening, Roslynn, looking beautiful. Thank you. That's why I choose to make sure I call my dad at least once a week. Yeah, with your situation. I'm so sorry for your loss. Y'all, give Mimi, I'm not getting into, if she chooses to say something, that's her. But, send prayers and vibes to her. She just had a loss in her family and you already dealing with a lot of stuff. And I know if I had any kind of way of physically talking to my dad, I would do that. But, when you have that family here, when you have that family here, you need to stay close to them if you have that good connection. Like I can say, if you've been through the situation I did, I can understand you breaking that off. Because if it's something very toxic and you see that, even though you're trying to make that positive change in your life, and a lot of times People get that twisted, that just because they're blood family, you need to stay attached to somebody. No, the hell you don't. Because if that mess is like draining you, where your work is being, you're being dehumanized, you are being poked fun of, you need to cut that off. Because a lot of times people feel like, this is my mom, this is my dad, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Because you don't have to be able to do that. You can love people from a distance. You don't have to be interacting with them when they do that. But if you have a special bond with your family, and y'all are just not talking because y'all are not agreeing on something, it can be very petty. Yeah, y'all need to go ahead and try to fix that. How my narc is acting now, that he is my twin flame now, but I know he's not. Yeah, a lot of times your false twin flames. um Jennifer Dawson said, hey, hang in there, Mimi. The issues I use is I can't just let him die. Yeah, with your situation is different, Mimi. I'm not talking about you. With your situation, that's different. But Kiki, I told you I'm gonna call you Kiki because I be messing up your name. Um, a lot of times you deal with false twin flames to lead you towards your true twin flame. I've dealt with that as well. I did a video on false twin flames, because it's like a lot of times, if you have a true, I don't know, because with my twin flame, my true one, my dad can be very brutally honest, but he was very supportive. He's never been negative. A lot of times that truth may have been hard to digest when it came to him, but he was very positive about those things. But yeah, you can be connected to a false twin flame that will lead you to your initial I know I'm just oh yeah, okay. I didn't want you to feel like I was talking about your situation, but I'm talking about with people, with my family, like my mom, my adopted mom. She had toxic traits, but that was all about false. Yeah, false can be very deceiving. Yeah, it can. With me growing up, my mom went through a lot of mental and emotional abuse because of my situation with my biological father. So, my mom went through a lot of those things where she was gaslighted a lot. She was trying to get through that by raising me the best way she could, but my adopted father turned me against her. And now, when she's passed, now he's using those same type of traits on me. And I don't talk to him. I don't talk to his family. I just exit myself out of there. I exile myself out of there. But I appreciate what has taken place, because it allowed me to know myself. It allowed me to connect with y'all. It allowed me to be able to use my situation to be able to help a lot of other people, heal. A lot of people just to be able to, look at their self on what issues they may carry, because we all relate in some kind of way. We're all dealing with something that is very heavy and very tragic. For you to be able to cut off toxic patterns that you've been exposed to be able to allow that to be used as a platform to be able to help other people heal, towards those different things. Oh, don't you hate that Jennifer, you think that you're so close to something happens, and then you're like, damn, everything you ever felt guilty for is like it was all fake. Yes. Yeah, I know you talking to Jennifer, but I can at least that's what I was talking about yesterday. With my situation I was going through, to where I started snapping at folks. Oh, I'm sorry, that's all messed up. No, but you keeping it real. It can be, it's real, but a lot of times you have to understand you had to go through those experiences of illusion. With my situation, I think the devil sends the false twin flames to get you. Yeah, they do, but they don't know that that's directing you towards that, because you're allowing yourself to. Yes, you've been exposed to that false illusion. You had to go through some kind of toxic impact, but you're allowing yourself to really heal from those things. I've dealt with a lot of, oh, excuse me, y'all. I dealt with some connections like that, and it was heavy. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like when I allowed myself to eliminate myself from that equation with those toxic, false twin flames, it allowed me to see what was going on. It was like being controlled, allowing yourself, it can be hard dealing with your twin flame, because that's like your counterpart somewhat. You know, whatever they're lacking, you have, and vice versa. So with my situation, it was hard because it came to a shock value with everything that was going on. I'm like, okay, am I crazy? Is this really happening to me? And all those different things. But I've learned a lot about it along the way. I make videos about it. I use my self experiences and the way I view things and way things have been sent to me to be able to help other people understand their situation. What we're going through is very hard. That's a day to day basis. You're not going to just get over what has impacted your life in that traumatic way overnight. There are going to be some heaviness that you may be still carrying while you're trying to heal to make that positive, step into your life. But when you're allowing yourself to make those positive steps on an everyday basis, it'll start becoming easier. And it's allowing you to heal. It's allowing that strength to be recognized within yourself, because we all have strength within us. But a lot of times you have been impacted in such a profound way when it comes to negativity. We start having self-doubt. We start having, second guessing our intuition, second guessing ourselves, not having that confidence and faith in ourselves and the universe or what's taking place in our lives. You're fighting off the old to get to the new. So that's hard, but that's where your strength comes from, because when you're allowing yourself to, even negative impacts, when you can transmute that into something positive in your life and say, what, this has happened in my life, but guess what, this allowed me to know myself, know how much I'm determined to make a change in my life, allowing myself to force myself, even on the days when I don't feel like doing anything. I'm allowing myself to move forward, even if it's a little baby step. Is when you allowing that every day, it start becoming easier. It start becoming enjoyable. You know, it could be the most simplest things that you trying to do into your life, and it may be hard, but a lot of times it can be hard for you because you may be dealing with a lot of things. It's like with my situation, I dealt with a lot of things where I'm projecting my truth, but other people, the right people that need to be knowing my truth, is not hearing that, or they choose to want to believe that, or they're doing it for selfish reasons. They're doing it for financial reasons. So it's like something I had to, it's that I ain't got time no more. You sure don't. You ain't got time for that. Like that woman said, you ain't got time for that. You have to be able to move forward. You know what you want in life, but you have to be able to go all for it. Yeah, it's like I cried the second day I met him. I'm sorry. I know it can be hard. It really can be hard. You know, um, you talking about that? Oh yes. I mean, I still, when I talk to my dad, oh my God, those tears get up. There's tears get up, and there's so many different things that I learn about our connection every day, and it's beautiful. But then it comes hard because of the situation I dealt with. And you said one thing I know is that it's real. It's like twins will not lie to you. They sure won't. That's one thing they won't do. They may lie to anyone else, but they will not lie to you. They can't. I noticed when my dad does that, and he's like, you can tell when he's lying about something. Like anytime I would see him and like different things, and my mom would ask me something because she was so intrigued with our connection like that. And she was like, so what do you feel when you see him? And I'm just like, oh, he lying about something. He's covering up something. She's like, how do you know that? I looking in his eyes, I can just tell. Even when I used to talk to him on the phone, it'll be certain things that come up. I'm like, why he lying about that? But it is what it is. You know, it's like, well, yeah, even when I try to do it, like I know, it was something telepathically he was asking me last night, and I couldn't say anything, and I had to just leave it like it was. And I'm just like, I don't like lying. I don't like lying. The only time I can see myself lying is keeping myself out of jail for me dying, or maybe not losing a job. You know what I'm saying? But if it's something, if I feel like I gotta lie, I'm just not gonna say nothing. Yep. That must be my bestie that is in the picture. Yeah. It'll be like that, where you can be real, you can be vulnerable with them. A lot of times you can't be vulnerable with people, because sometimes they'll use that against you. I've had that numerous times, especially being here and connecting with people on the side. I've had that, and it hurt like hell, especially when I wasn't bringing nothing, brutal to you. But it happens like that, but you have to move on. You know, you those are life lessons that you can really take something from that and be able to grow from it and allow that to really take place in your life. But y'all, I've had this on over an hour. I'm gonna stop this one because I know I'm gonna share this one out on my other platforms, and I'm gonna start another one. I don't know what I'm gonna start, so keep your notifications on. I'm going to yeah, start a different one. But if you want to go ahead and bring up different topics in that, you can go ahead and do that. It must cause she tells me everything, and I mean everything. Yeah, I mean that's a blessing for you to be able to have somebody in your life that you can be able to tell things to, and it's no judgment. Y'all can be vulnerable in front of each other. I mean, you can have a booger hanging out your nose, like, yo, sis, can you you need to get this, and it'll be all that. You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing to be able to have somebody like that in your life. And it's like when I see my dad, yeah, I'm gonna stop this one, Jennifer, and start another one back. So you can go ahead and chime in. Subject on numbers. Yeah, those synchronicities when you're becoming aligned, or there's certain things that you really need to become aware of within yourself. The angels will always send you something through synchronicities. Mine, it comes through music, it comes through different posts. Okay, good night, Mimi. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this one and then start another one if y'all want to chime back in. I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I said I'm gonna at least try to do this like 2 or 3 times a week and do my regular videos with that so y'all can interact with me like that. But yeah, you're when you're doing those different things, is putting you in alignment on what you need to know about yourself. I'm the type of person, I'm a Google queen. I Google all my numbers to see what I'm thinking, or if I'm doing the best thing, am I moving forward the way I need to, or there are certain things that I need to pay attention to that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, love you, Kiki. If you want to go ahead and chime back in, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. And it was so good talking to you. I'm gonna give a big ups to Kiki, Mimi, Jennifer, Robert, who else? Mimi, Jennifer. I think I just said Jennifer. But yeah, all y'all, it was so good talking to you. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and start up another one, and y'all are welcome to do that. I guess I'm gonna just go ahead and end this one and just go ahead and make it public. Well, it's already public. So other people can watch it and then just share it later. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this one, and y'all can come back and chime in with me. Much love to you. Peace. Like and subscribe, share, tell somebody about the channel. Drop any more lines if you want to. I can see them on the when I upload it as well. So I'll see y'all in my next video. Much love to you. Bye.